I can't, it was amazing. The one morning I take off, I have to point out, you remember Democrat Senator Chris Van Hollen? I was talking about him last week. Democrat Senator Chris Van Hollen, he's this lunatic from Maryland who thought it would be a good idea to fly down to El Salvador and have a sweet little meeting with this criminal, this MS-13 guy, alleged MS-13 guy, who was brought into court for a protective order, allegedly for beating his wife. Doesn't seem like the very best. Senator Van Hollen, instead of being with his constituents, giving care to his constituents who have been the victims of illegal aliens, no, he takes the side of the illegal aliens. So anyway, I joked last week. So I made this AI-generated image of Senator Van Hollen and a face-tattooed Mexican gangster staring lovingly in each other's eyes over a picnic with glasses of red wine, kind of just melting in the vision of the other one. And no sooner do I do it than one day later, Chris Van Hollen brings my meme to life. He does my meme. We have it. There it is. And some people are saying, well, Michael, this prediction wasn't perfect because you see, in yours, the two were staring lovingly in each other's eyes, drinking red wine. And in the real photograph, they're staring lovingly at each other's eyes, leaned over, almost touching hands, but they have glasses of clear liquid. So, okay, the one part I got wrong was maybe it's tequila instead of red wine. I don't know what it is, but this shook even me. This is the most on-the-nose Nostradamus prediction I have ever made in my entire career. I don't know what to do with this power that I apparently have, but what I do know is this is the dumbest political stunt, the single dumbest political stunt I have ever seen in my life. And in some ways, I'm half joking that my meme came to life. In some ways, maybe my meme did spur this. This is something Trump does. Trump makes his enemies destroy themselves, and I think this would be another example of that. This guy, Trump deports a criminal. And then because Trump did it, the libs have to take the other side. So they have to take the side of the criminal. Trump says enough of the paper straws in an executive order. You get to have plastic straws again. What do the Dems do? The Dems defend paper straws, which nobody likes. Trump says, hey, no husky fellas going into the girls' locker room. What do Dems have to do? They have to defend the husky fellas in the girls' locker room, even though no one likes that. And so here we say, hey, man, it's kind of weird that a Democrat senator would go down to defend this illegal alien over his own constituents. Wow, was he got a thing for the guy or something? And sure enough, he doesn't. Even though this guy, when all is said and done, this guy is not going to be able to get elected dog catcher. But the left has to do it. Now, we'll get back to why the left has to do it in a second. Go to goodranchers.com, use promo code Knowles. Have you taken a look at your grocery bill lately? I try not to look at my grocery bill. Those meat prices are likely going to go crazy with all of the tariffs. Makes you wonder if you can still serve the good stuff to your family, right? Luckily, goodranchers.com delivers 100% locally sourced American beef, chicken, pork, and more straight to your door, so you do not have to worry about any tariff pricing or grocery store mystery meat. While everyone else is dealing with those unpredictable imported meat prices, Good Ranchers is completely tariff-proof. 100% American supply chain. For me, I've always liked that it's American meat, and I really like the company. I've worked with Good Ranchers for a long time. But for me, it's really just about the quality of the meat, okay? This is the best meat that you are going to get, period. Okay. Also, do you know that the average family throws away like $500 of meat a year because of freezer burn and you don't store it right? Good Ranchers, it's all individually sealed, so it's really nice. You get better meat, stable prices, less waste, just smarter shopping for you and your family. Subscribe right now. Go to goodranchers.com, get free meat for life and $40 off with code Knowles, K-N-W-L-E-S. That is goodranchers.com, promo code Knowles. Get free meat for life and $40 off. Good Ranchers, American meat delivered. The liberal media are moving the goalposts, I think, because they suspect that Kilmar Abrego Garcia is in MS-13, and they realize just how terrible the Van Hollen thing looks. So CNN moves the goalposts. CNN's Caitlin Collins interviewing Garcia's attorney. They then argue that the case is not about whether or not he's in this gang.
I want to show you something that the president posted tonight. It's a photo of what he says is your client's left hand. You can see his knuckles there, and the president is showing these tattoos that the White House reveals that he's a member of MS-13. I should note, the photo has been doctored because the actual MS-13 that you see at the top, that's not actually a tattoo. That's what they're saying the tattoos portray. What is your reaction to this photo?
Yeah. My reaction is this is just a continuation of the distraction. This case is not about whether Mr. Obrego Garcia is good or bad, whether he is or isn't in MS-13, whether he should be able to remain for the rest of his life in the U.S. or not. This case is about the simple fact that he was removed without due process, and if it can happen to him and the government pushes back at every turn, despite 3 different courts ordering them to return him, then who's next?
Actually, I think it is about whether or not he's MS-13. That's what it's about for me, at least, in the first place. Listen, guys, it's not about, come on, we're getting distracted by his, allegations of beating his wife and the multiple judges who think he's in this vicious terrorist organization. It's not really about that, you see. No, it is about that. And I guess at a deep level, you could say it's not about that. But at the really deep level, what it's about is this guy has no right to be in the country. So what Trump is saying is, I'm just trying to deport hundreds of thousands, maybe 1 million or 2, really violent, vile, dangerous, terrorist people here who are foreigners. But if it's not about that, if it's then just about illegal aliens having no right to be here, then we should be deporting 11 to 16 million now. I get why Garcia's attorney and the libs who have put a lot of chips on this case are trying to distract and say it's not about whether or not he's an MS-13, because he obviously is, allegedly. But okay, fine, maybe you'll win that little battle, you're going to lose the war, because if this just becomes about whether or not you have a right to be in America, then we need to deport them all. Van Hollen himself is backtracking. After he brought my meme to life, after he really made me into the greatest Nostradamus I've ever felt like, he decided to backtrack.
Are you concerned about standing so forcefully with somebody that has, at least a questionable record?
I am not defending the man. I'm defending the rights of this man to due process. And the Trump administration has admitted in court that he was wrongfully detained and wrongfully deported. My mission and my purpose is to make sure that we uphold the rule of law, because if we take it away from him, we do jeopardize it for everybody else.
If we want to defend the rule of law, then we need to make sure that illegal aliens don't enter our country. But Van Hollen and all the Democrats, up to and including Joe Biden and Kamala, and many Democrats over the decades, have welcomed them in. But Joe Biden in particular welcomed them in. Kamala was the border czar, welcomed them in. The Democrat senators welcomed them in. Now you're talking to me about the rule of law? Oh, no, I don't stand with this guy. You went on a lunch date with him. Also, wasn't this guy supposed to be being tortured in some horrible prison in El Salvador, where basically a concentration camp? Van Hollen doesn't even know where he is. Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, pointed out, obviously the senator knows where he is. He took him out on a lunch date. Yeah, no, it is about, you are defending this guy, and you realize it's a horrible look, and you realize your constituents hate you for it, and you're trying to salvage what remains of your political career. Good luck, buddy. And good luck to any of the Democrats who want to defend this stuff too. Please, run on this in 26, run on this in 28. That would be wonderful. Here's what Tom Homan, the deportations are rather, had to say.
Not even a U.S. senator could get any information about his whereabouts or the condition of his incarceration without actually going down and making the trip to El Salvador himself?
We obviously knew his whereabouts because he went there to see him. But what bothers me more than that is a U.S. senator traveled to El Salvador on taxpayer dime to meet with an MS-13 gang member, public safety threat, terrorist.
Terrorist, that sums it up. Well said by Tom Homan. Keep it up, Democrats. Scott Jennings on CNN, who does a great job. He's the conservative on CNN. He said that he cannot understand why Democrats in this case, and more broadly, always fall in love with the worst people.
Where do you take? I see these pictures tonight and I think, boy, the party of women is really covering itself in glory tonight. I mean, I don't understand why the American left falls in love with the worst people. You've got a gang-banging, human trafficking, wife-beating, illegal alien, and a United States senator in a ludicrous display of energy is in El Salvador having Mai Tais and Yahtzee. I do not get it. I do not understand why the left takes on the heroes. I don't get it.
I do get it. I actually get why the American left falls in love almost uniformly with the worst people. The reason is that their loves are disordered. All of their loves. They have a root problem. Fundamentally, not only what they believe, but what they desire is wrong. And when your loves are disordered and misplaced, you're not just going to fall in love with one bad guy. You're going to fall in love only with bad guys. This is the same reason that your rebellious sister always dates punks and losers and criminals. It's the same thing. All of liberalism comes down to screw you, Dad. And so it's the same reason. Your sister has, I don't know, maybe your sister's perfectly nice. I hate to slander her. But your sister, the archetypal rebellious sister, she always brings home the bad boy, and she's always in these bad relationships. Yeah, of course she is. You rarely find someone who has just one bad relationship. It's usually kind of all or nothing. And that's the American left. Whether they're simping for terrorists in the Middle East or at home, Antifa or Hamas or whatever, they're defending career criminals, they're always attacking cops, they're always attacking good guys who are protecting people like Daniel Penny in the subway. It's always the same thing. Now they're defending this kid who stabbed Austin Metcalf in the heart. It's always the same, of course, because their loves are off. You got to fix that. And that requires not merely a political fix and not merely a cultural fix, it requires a religious reorientation. There's no way around it. As Cardinal Manning tells us, and I tell you frequently from him, all politics ultimately is theological. And so that's what it's got to come down to. There's a good clip, huh? Okay, ring the bell and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.